We go forever and ever, yeah. You know that I'm much upset, yeah. You wish that you can do better, no, I won't let her, We go forever and ever, yeah. I go and create the pressure, yeah. You wish that you can do better, You wish that you can do better, yeah. Ooh. We go forever and ever. We go forever and ever.
Welcome everyone to Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Rearden, and I'll be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking all about relationships. Valentine's Day just ended, but it doesn't mean our relationship has to end. You might have found someone on the internet, online dating, and you might have hit it off, had a great date. But it doesn't mean that that's going to be a great summer, a great next fall, a great next Valentine's. Because we have taken the idea and the concept of relationships and we have made it a totally different beast. So today we're going to be talking about relationships, the difference between the mindset of a woman seeking a relationship and the mindset of a man seeking a relationship. It's a little bit different. So we're going to be breaking that down in today's episode. And before we do that, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and to send this video to all your single friends or all your friends who just got into a new relationship and you think that they're goo goo gaga over a guy or a girl and they need a wake up call. This is going to be for them. Because the mindset of a relationship is going to make it very clear what type of relationship you need right now and if you should be in a relationship. Because I think sometimes people just feel alone and they feel like they need a relationship or they feel like they're supposed to be in a relationship. You don't have to be in a relationship, the same thing as you don't have to get married and you don't have to have kids. It's a personal choice. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about that. But first, let's get into what we do here at Rearden Concepts with relationship coaching. So if you are not watching and you're just listening, tuning in, you can go to the services tab on the website later on when you're not driving anymore. Or if you wanted to go to the website and go to the relationship coaching tab and we can begin that process. Okay, so some of the things that I do here at Rearden Concepts is I help people with their relationships, whether they be single, whether it be open or exclusive, or maybe they're just getting ready to get married. Maybe they got married. Maybe the marriage is going good. Maybe the marriage is going bad. So there's many different things that can be going on in the relationship. So there's many aspects to that. If you want to talk about your emotions and your feelings, I would recommend going to a therapist and just have it out. I would also recommend, and this is something that people don't do, having two therapists, right? Having a male therapist and having a female therapist. It might sound like too much money, but it's going to be worth it. And I would say that when you pick your therapist, each person should interview the therapist that they're going to be working with. That means the guy should be talking to the therapist he wants to work with and then give the A-OK. And then the woman should be talking to the therapist and then give the OK. I have heard horror stories when people come to me. They say, I was attacked during the therapy session by the therapist. Okay. Why? Right? Like, why were you attacked? And the reason why sometimes that happens is because the therapist now has some inside information. And it doesn't matter if it's a guy therapist or a girl therapist. If the person who initially starts that conversation, they're going to look at the other person as, okay, you're the problem, right? We need to fix you. You're the issue. And for me, I don't look at it that way. If you call me and you say you have a problem in the relationship, the first thing I do when you come into the office, if you're coming into the office in person, if you live here in Texas, if you want to do it remotely, it's not really possible. But I will go into the meeting open and I will try to understand both sides of the situation. It's just difficult in the beginning if both people are in the room because it's not going to be 100% honesty, or there's going to be some things that the person is not willing to say or open up to. So again, in person, I separate the people the first part of the meeting. So the first 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, depending on what's going on, I talk to each person individually, then I bring them in together. Once I have a good understanding of what's going on, we bring it in and we see if the stories compare. And then I start to unravel, peel back the onion. This is the problem in the relationship. And I will say that more often than not, the person who is calling to fix the relationship has either already checked out mentally or they could be the problem. Not saying that the other person is not contributing to that issue, but it's one of those rare occasions, okay? It's just that we all have our way of thinking and We think different as men and we think different as women. So we need to know mindsets. So as a mindset coach, what do you think I'm going to do in your relationship? I'm going to tell you the mindset of a woman. I'm going to tell you the mindset of a man. Because if you know the different types of mindsets, then you can say, well, this is where I am and this is where I'm going to be. And this is what I have to do to make adjustments. Now, just because you know the mindset, it doesn't mean you're going to be happy. It doesn't mean that you're going to be with that person, stay with that person. But at least we have some guidance. And it's going to be separated by age. So if you're a woman, you're going to separate by maybe teens, early 20s, early career, mid-20s, late 20s, early 30s, mid-30s, late 30s, early 40s, and so on. Men, you're going to be looking at it. Teens, you can go early 20s, late 20s, and then 30s, mid, late, early 40s, late 40s, right? So we skip a part with the genders, right? It's just that we have to understand how much content we put into our brain as both women and men. Women do a great job at taking care of their emotional state, at getting help when they need help. Men are more internalized to keep things in, right? I don't want to talk about this. Not a problem, right? You don't have to talk about your emotions if you don't want to. But at the same time, that's why it takes longer to change. So the beginning half of your 20s, the later half of your 20s, early half of your 30s, later half of your 30s, right? It just takes longer for men to change. And so we're going to be talking about the mindset, but then we're going to also be talking about the different stages too. So if you're single, if you're dating, if you're in a relationship, if you are thinking about getting married, or if you're married, or if you're separated or divorced, right? All of those different stages too, right? So we need to be breaking those down too. I probably will start with that and then we'll talk about the mindset of the women and then the mindset of the men. So breaking down where you are in your relationship and then talking about the mindset to it, because it's different for both people. So if you're single and you're looking for a relationship, there's many aspects you have to know. Do you want a traditional relationship? Do you want a modern relationship? Traditional relationships are far and few between. Not saying that they're impossible to find. It's just that it's very rare. So you are not going to find a true traditional relationship in today's world easily. Not saying that you can't find it. Most people are going to have to go for a traditional with a modern flair. Okay, so it's something I guess created or coined. We have traditional, modern relationships, and traditional with modern flares and modern with traditional flares. So if you know about that, then you can say, okay, now I know the 4 types of relationships. And the reason why we have it is because the pendulum of traditional and modern are so far, we had to create something in the middle. Okay, meet me halfway, Fergie. So now that we know we can meet each other halfway and we know that the mindset is different in all of those areas, all 4 areas, we can start to see, okay, well, let's figure out which one I want. Okay. If you're single, depends on man and woman too. What type of relationship do you want? Most women, if you ask, they want a traditional type of relationship. That's just the majority. Okay. I'm not saying that some women don't want modern relationships or they want traditional modern flares. But to be honest, most people don't know about my coined concept of traditional with flares and modern with flares. They don't know about it. All right. So they just say, I only have 2 choices. I have traditional and have modern. All right. I'm a modern woman, but I want a traditional man. Doesn't work. Okay. If you want a traditional man, you have to be a traditional woman. And if you are a traditional man and you want a traditional woman, you can't be a modern man and want a traditional woman. Now, not saying that it doesn't happen. It happens all the time. All the time. People get into relationships and they are just opposites. So I'm traditional, you're modern, or vice versa. Okay? Who's right? No one's right, right? Because you didn't do due diligence in the beginning of the relationship and understand who this person is. You didn't do your work. Mindset coaching is helping you understand what do you want, what values do you want, and then understanding the person that you're with. So the mindset of women is not simple. I'm not going to say it's simple because it's extremely intuitive, right? Women are well endowed, in touch with their emotions. That's why they will support each other. That's why they will go get help. That's why there's more women coaches helping women achieve and step into their power. Why do you think that is? It's because women are more open to allow their feelings to be embraced. Men, on the other hand, are not. Then we have our age groups, right? If you're early teens, late teens, you might want to go party, you want to go have fun, you want to explore the world. Late teens, early 20s, you want to build yourself up, start a career, maybe have a business. Family is not on the agenda right now. You're modern, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. What had happened was the last generation of true traditional women told their daughters and granddaughters, you go out and you get your career and you not need a man. And that's what they did. So they went out and they got their careers and they said, I don't need a man. I'll do everything I need by myself. So we have Miss Independent coming in, right? We have women coming out, Beyonce, Independent, Miss Independent, all the single ladies, to the left, if he doesn't do right. But yeah, Jay-Z can cheat on her, and all his stuff is still where it was, not to the left, exactly where it was. So the values that we have going into a relationship, it might be the mindset of, I want this in a relationship. As a woman, you have to understand, well, what type of man are you going with? So if you're single and you're going with a playboy, if you're in a relationship, you're with a playboy, if you are in a marriage with a playboy, what do you think is going to happen, right? He's going to exercise his sexual rights. He's going to be polyamorous. He's going to want to be with multiple women. Is he cheating, right? Now, what makes a man cheat, right? I have a definition for that. Men typically don't cheat if they just go out and have sex with a woman. But again, that's going to be a betrayal if it wasn't spoken about in the beginning of the relationship, okay? So are you traditional if you step out and you go into another bed? You're not fully traditional. You're traditional with modern values. That's just the way it is. Hate to say it. I'm not saying that the definition of traditional men are people who just stayed at home with their wife and just lived a sexless life. There's some people who did that, and again, it depends on faith, religion. There's so many aspects to that. But without getting into too much confusion, we need as men sexual variety. Or if not, we need sexual access when we want it. What happens a lot, especially when the woman is working, I'm tired, I have a headache, I don't feel like it. So what happens, right? Does he just go off and go on the internet and do what he has to do? Or does he say, you know what, if you don't want it, I'm going to find someone else who wants it? So who's at fault here? Is it the guy for going out and getting what he has that urge for? Or is it because of the woman denying what the man was desiring? But then you have the aspect of, can one woman please one man? And the answer is no, okay? But there can be men who understand that this is my woman, I don't want to step out. They practice monogamy, okay? But men were not built to be monogamous. They were built to be polyamorous. That's why men can go out and have 365 kids with multiple women, hundreds of women, but a woman can only have one pregnancy a year, right? She can only bring to term one pregnancy. It takes 8 to 9 months for a baby to come out. Now, I'm not talking about preemies where it happens in 4 months or 5 months, right? We're talking about a true pregnancy where it's natural. So with all that being said, okay, if you're single and you're a woman, you get to choose where do you put your attention, okay? You want to go out and party, go have fun, be modern? Cool. You want to be going out, getting an education and understanding, you still have traditional values? Cool. You want to have flares of modern or traditional? Cool, understand, okay? But then you also have to understand that if you're a woman, you have your value already. It is easy for a woman to go out and get sex. For men, it's a lot more difficult. A woman can go to a bar, says, who wants to have relations with me? And multiple men will probably raise their hand. Now, if you go to men on the street and you just walk up to a guy and say, hey, you want to do something with me? Most likely the guy's going to be like, something's going on, right? Like it's a trap. And that's what marriage is. It's a trap for men. Not saying that men shouldn't get married. It's just a bad deal for men. So the mindset that women go into a relationship, oh, I'm the prize. You should be so happy that you're going to be with me. 50% of marriages end in divorce. 70% of marriages end because a woman filed for divorce. So how does it benefit the man? It doesn't. Now with the idea of modern women, I can go out and be a boss babe and I can do what I want and I can provide for myself and I can protect myself and I can go out and have sex whenever I want. Men have learned how to adjust. So now let's go into the men's side, the mindset of men. So men see the change, right? There's no traditional woman, masculine woman, right? Going out doing what men are supposed to be doing traditionally. Not saying that they can't, just traditionally. Now these men see and they say, you know what? I'm not going to commit to this girl. I'm going to give her what she wants. Flowers, me knowing her favorite color, her birthday, sending her a good morning text, opening her door. How long this going to last? 2 months, 3 months? He's going to start falling off because he's going to get what he wanted very quickly, because he's going to be asking the right questions most likely, and he's going to show you, oh, I'm a nice guy. But it doesn't mean that you're a good guy, right? Anyone can pretend to be a nice guy. But if you're a good guy, it's going to be hard to fake that, all right? And what happens is good guys and nice guys are different. For example, a nice guy who's always nice and treats the woman well might not get any sexual access. But then again, you have your playboy, might not treat her right. The idea of change comes in, right? I'm going to fix this man. I'm going to change him. He's wild, because our traditional, innate, primal emotions come out, right? These traits are attractive to me. Not a jerk and a-hole type of trait, but these traits are also other things, right? Dominant, disciplined, strong. And women see that as desirable. So there's a small pool of men that go out with all the women. It's not, oh, every single man is getting something from a woman, because there's a big pool of men who don't show up every single day. They're overweight. They don't know how to communicate. And so that's those single men. And those single men are going to have a mindset of, well, I can't get sexual access, so I'll go to OnlyFans. I'll do online stuff. And then you realize, okay, this is the mindset that's happening. So not a lot is happening in that relationship because the man is not doing what he needs to do. Now, the woman can go out and have relationships whenever she wants, but for men, it's a lot more work. And the idea of marriage for men is just not a good deal, right? You can lose half your stuff. You can lose your wealth, your kids, your physical attributes, your mental attributes, all because of the weight of the marriage. And that weighs heavy on men. So we might not talk about our emotions or be emotional, but what we know is that marriage is just not the best investment for us. Now, not saying that you shouldn't get married, right? Just understand why you are trying to get married. Marriage is the best institution to raise a family. If you plan on having a family, plan on some type of marriage. It doesn't have to be legally. It could be spiritually if you wanted to do something like that. If you wanted to get married, if you're American, you want to get married like in Colombia or married in a different country, do it. It doesn't matter if you come here to America, living here in America, because there's no legal repercussions if you separate here in America, because the marriage is not going to be considered lawful because it hasn't happened on U.S. soil. I'm not saying it didn't happen, okay? Just in the court of law, the judge is going to look at you saying, well, what do you want me to do? You got married in a different country. Go to that country and figure it out. Guess what? They're not going to the country. You have to figure out, well, do you want to put yourself out there as men, right? Most men don't. So most men, what they did was they learned how to get the sex they wanted and they just keep doing it. They don't have to have relationships. Now, women control sexual access, but men control relationship access. Things have changed, all right? We have to understand that huge dynamic. Because if women are going to say, well, I'm going to go out and sleep with whoever I want and I'm going to have a body count of over 100, nothing wrong with that. But understand, every single time you start getting that tick mark up, now when a true man wants to be in a relationship with you, he's going to see those bodies. You have to understand that the woman who's on your arm intrinsically increases the man's stature, okay? Not value or anything. Stature. This is a good girl. This is a good woman. She's a wonderful wife, can cook, clean, supports him, all that, right? And she's exclusive to him. Not everyone can get her. No one can get her, right? That's valuable to that man, right? She's providing value to that man. But if you're going to go out and you're going to post Instagram pictures and flaunt and talk to other men, are you really showing your man honor, value? Not saying that you can't have guy friends and things like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just letting you know perception, okay? This is perception. This is mindset. Because if I go out and I talk to a bunch of girls, not saying that I don't love my wife and that I'm not going to go do anything, but if I put myself in a situation, then there's a situation that could happen. Do I go out and I talk to all these women? And talking about relationships too. I'm not just talking about, oh, this is a business partner, things like that. There's a different type of communication. So if you're just being friends, most likely you're just putting someone on the sideline. You're not playing yet, but maybe you will. You might not think about it consciously, but subconsciously, that's what it is in one of the person's minds. So the guy's waiting or the girl's waiting, either or. The mindset of women, the mindset of men is different. But what I can tell you in the relationships today is that we lack critical components to have good, healthy relationships. We don't know how to communicate. We don't know how to argue. We don't know how to fix things, right? If something is broken, we throw it away. Valentine's Day just happened, right? How many relationships are we going to fix if it's not working out? Maybe you just started dating. And so it should be perfect, right? The honeymoon phase. But just because it's the honeymoon phase, it doesn't mean that it's going to be a long-lasting thing. Men can see what women want, and women, I think, can see what men want to some degree. But we do have to understand one important factor, and that is, are they ready for a relationship? Because if you're single and you want to stay single, right, you're not ready for commitment, right? It's too much, right? You just want to stay friends. Understand that. If you are in a relationship and you don't know about the relationship, you're unsure, maybe you just don't want to be with that person, right? Understand that. Maybe you are just having a hard time in your relationship, right? Things are not going well. You're not communicating. You're different people. Understand that, right? Not saying that you have to leave the relationship because there's something wrong. You just have to understand what's going on. Then you have to look at values. You have to look at your system that you have in place. All of that together is going to give you some of the best options to make a good choice in your relationship. So when I'm helping people with relationship coaching, it's not just, oh, I'm going to play Will Smith and this is Hitch. All right, I'm going to get you the girl that you want. And getting girls is not a hard thing. Finding a good girl is a hard thing. For women, finding a man is an easy thing. Finding a good man is a hard thing. So we both have challenges, right? Both sexes have a challenge. How can I find someone worth a damn? How do I know if they're worth a damn? Go to reverendconcepts.com, get yourself some coaching. That's the way I'm going to recommend it, because there's so many variables. And if I start going down this line of you need to make sure you check this and this is a red flag, because it doesn't mean anything, because there's so many variables, because the person that you're dealing with has a certain mindset and I need to know it. And your mindset, I need to know it. And I put it together and then I say, this is what's going to happen if you put it together. If you put two chemicals together, what happens? A reaction. Okay. So you just need to know that if you're putting some chemicals together that can create a toxic fume or gas, that's what you're doing. Okay. So mindsets are the same thing. You don't want to mix something that's going to be explosive or volatile or dangerous. You want to mix something that's going to create a pleasant aroma or a pleasant type of chemical. But guess what? We like toxic. We like the bad boys. We like the bad girls. We like to chase. We like to be people who don't appreciate our self-worth. Truly, truly at that level, right? And I'm not saying that you don't see value in yourself. It's just that you don't know what values do you want in a relationship. So you say these superficial things. I want a man who's this tall, makes this much. Not saying that you can't. Men, you say you want a woman who is this body count, does this, right? Can do this. Not saying it's wrong, right? We all have preferences, but understand the difference between a preference and a value. Preferences are going to be things that are going to come and go. Values are going to be things that are going to be long lasting. So understand your values. And so when I'm working with people in relationship coaching, the first thing I'm doing is understanding their values. And then I'm also understanding their mindset. And then I'm understanding the mindset of the people that we're talking to. Because then I say, this person has a good mindset. This is going to be a good fit. After you go on the first date, come back, you report to me. We talk about it. If you're past the dating phase and you're in a relationship phase, we talk about what's going on in your relationship. This is the reason why your relationship is struggling. Marriage, same thing. What's happening in the separation? Divorce. This is what's going to happen in the future because they did this. All the answers are mindset. And it's crazy accurate. With time, it's going to change. But right now, from the value of traditional moving to modern, it is very easy to understand what type of person you are with just a few questions, and then understanding what your future is going to be with just a few questions. So there's so much to relationship coaching. And if you're in a relationship, if you're looking for a relationship, you need to make sure that you have the best tools at your disposal. So you're going to want to go to reardenconcepts.com, get yourself some relationship coaching, and begin to understand the mindset that you're looking for, the values that you're looking for, and understanding that you can continue to do this by yourself and get the same results. Maybe you're in and out of relationships. Maybe you're unhappy, finding yourself, not finding the true match. Well, matchmaking is going to be one of those things where you might get it wrong a couple of times. But mindset, if we can understand your mindset, understand the other person's mindset is difficult to change. So we need to figure out, well, what type of mindset do they have? What type of mindset do you have? And once you figure out that mindset, then everything begins to change. Everything begins to fall in order. And that's what we're trying to do. Get your life back in order, a step at a time. And it doesn't matter which coaching you get or which coaching you begin with. But right now I'm talking about relationships because we just had Valentine's Day and there's a lot of people on a high and a honeymoon phase. And they're going to realize in a couple of months, if not weeks, that things are not going as well as they thought they would. I wonder why. So don't continue to wonder. Begin to find the answers. And you can do that here at Reverend Concepts. If you have any questions, you can always email me coachinginsession@gmail.com. And I'll be here to support you, guide you, and lead you to the best relationships rather than just any relationship. I will see everyone again on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone, take care.